So for me, in order to take the first step, the first thing that we need to do is to be able to converse with others,
Hmm.
and the way that we do that is creating a safe space.
Hmm.
Right? We don't want to talk to somebody that's going to make us feel bad about feeling.
Right.
We want to be able to talk about our feelings in a safe space. So
Yeah.
that is the first step, and the second step is allowing ourselves to be vulnerable. I mean, we live in a world as black people where we're
Yeah.
constantly guarded, you know,
Yeah.
where we constantly have to put up this character, as me and Frank was talking about earlier, where it's not our authentic selves, but
Hmm.
it protects us from the outside world. But at the same time, it doesn't allow us to actually be vulnerable. And
Yeah.
being vulnerable is like the first step of actually being aware of your mental health.
Yeah. So I was talking to a friend of mine this past weekend because I actually shared on Facebook a week ago today. I put a prayer request and I said, any prayer warriors on my Facebook page, if you could send up some for me right now, that would be both dope and appreciated. And sometimes as believers, we have this thing where we say, well, you got to tell me what I need to pray for. You got to be specific in your prayer, right? So, and sometimes you don't necessarily, like you mentioned, the vulnerability, right? So, like sometimes you don't want to do that. But I have been trying to be as open as possible about living with depression and anxiety.
Yeah.
So I said, issue, a near crippling bout of anxiety, and that was it. And the response, and I wasn't doing it like, oh, please feel bad for me. It was really just, yo, like I need help. Like I am stuck right now.
Yeah.
And to get the response I did, people like went into prayer immediately, and I could tell because I could feel it. People called, people texted, people were inboxing me, like people were just like making sure. And I was like, wait, I don't want you to think like I'm not like gonna attempt anything. Like I'm not gonna harm myself. Like I'm okay. I just like I'm not in a place where I can function
Mm-hmm.
the way I need to. And I'm soliciting your prayers and your good thoughts to help me as I get to where I need to get to. And I think that being vulnerable like that is something that is usually frowned upon in our
Yeah.
community.
Yeah.
And but that also keeps us like hostage to trauma and pain and all that. And I don't want to live like that. If God lets me see next September 29th, next month, uh, I'll be 52. I don't want to live in hostage to like pain. I want to talk about it. And I want to be in community where it's okay. So, like, I want to get a bunch of my sisters around this table and have us just talk about whatever, raising kids, jobs, all of that, because in that, some of the stuff that we are thinking and feeling, we're going to see like we're not alone in it. And like we have community. And I think that that is one of the ways that we work on healing ourselves and healing each other.
That's right. That's right. Nelson Mandela had this famous quote that says, "As you let your light shine, you unconsciously give others permission to do the same."
Mm,
So, when you stepped out there and said, I need prayer for my anxiety, you're opening the door for other people to
to
also
do the same
do
thing.
the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
Stephanie suffered from anxiety. You know what? I'm suffering from anxiety too.
Yeah.
So it's like, being that initial ambassador for mental health, like opening the door for others.